It is Thursday morning. This is the day that we've heard from everybody is most likely to have a ferry back to Sarong. We heard all different kinds of times, so we woke up at the crack of dawn and checked, and 6 o'clock has already passed, so there was no ferry at 6 that we could find. I talked to a guy this morning, he said it leaves at 8, and then he just talked to me again, he said it leaves at 9, so I guess we're just gonna have to stay alert and keep checking so that we don't miss our only ticket out of here.
Everyone in the village is giving us different times for the ferry. Like, I don't know if they want us to leave. We don't have more money, so we're screwed if we are stuck here.
Our money just kept going and going and going.
So we've just been told that there is no express ferry today. And we gather there may be a slow ferry, so screwed if we're stuck here. Have to get on the boat too.
Yes, and we not only have to get on the boat, but the boat, I don't think it comes all the way here to the dock. So we have to take like one of these tiny boats, uncovered, all the way out to the big boat, which is going to be sitting way out there. Because we had been fed so much varying information about when the ferry was supposed to arrive to take us back to Sarong, we decided that we needed to check frequently, like every 15 minutes or so. But each time we went out of our place to check, the person at our homestay would insist, no, the ferry leaves at 2 o'clock, you don't need to worry about it. There were a few times I kind of had to just like sneak out to see if the ferry had arrived.
Yeah, it was like he was like guarding our door, it felt like, because the second we leave, he'd be like, 2 p.m., 2 p.m.
We hear the ferry horn at 11 o'clock, and even after the ferry horn sounded, we weren't sure whether that ferry was for us. Nobody came to our door, nobody told us that it was here. We actually had to ask around, and then we find out that's the ferry that's going to Sarong. Then we're seeing people leave in these little boats. We're like, we have to get out of here. I'm so pissed right now. They told us 2 o'clock, and it shows up here at 11. So we just scramble to get things ready, and I don't even know where the ferry's going, but we need to get on one of these tiny boats in order to get on it.
Don't know if I've ever seen Alex so angry in my life.
This is our only way out of here, and they either lied to us or told us the wrong time, or just were mistaken, or the ferry's on a different schedule.
Maybe they think we're never-ending pocketbooks, even though we literally have no cash to stay another night. We just have to get out of here. We can't even have relief yet, because we're like, we need to take a little boat to the big ferry somewhere. We're so frustrated right now. How excited are you to get off this island on a scale from 1 to 10?
We have to get out of here. I've said that before. This is high priority right now. I feel a little more relieved. I think the nightmare might finally be over.
Gosh, I've never been so happy to see a boat.
I think this is definitely the slow boat.
Yeah.
We even have beds.
So how do you feel now that we're almost about to get off the boat in Sarong?
I'm relieved.
I don't know if our footage does justice for how stressful a situation this was, because we literally had no cell phone reception, Wi-Fi, nothing like that to be able to communicate with people. We got it like a couple minutes, And we like sent a quick message to my sister because she's like my emergency contact, and just been like, hey, just so you know, we're on this remote island in the middle of Papua, like just so someone knew. But then it would go out right away. And so our minds, we kept thinking of like, okay, next time there's cell phone reception, should we try to see if we can get someone to come into this island if we can't get out of it? Because we have no cash and there's no way to get cash out. It was a very stressful situation. I think if we were in other parts of the world, like we've traveled to a lot of places where even in impoverished countries, they're very hospitable and it's just part of their culture. And this just wasn't the case here. So I think that added to our stress.
Our lessons learned. There are certain places that you just should not ever go to without a plan, especially if you can't find any information online. Misool is one of those places.
Yes, and we weren't even on Misool. We were on Yellu, which is the little island off the coast. But still, this was such a remote area. It was a 7-hour boat ride back. Like, it is so remote that if anything had really happened and we had no way of communicating, we would have been really screwed. So I think lesson learned, do not go to some place without at least somewhat of a plan, especially when it's that freaking remote. That was just not a smart idea. The second thing we've learned, cash.
Cash, yeah. Get enough cash, because in these kinds of remote places, there are not ATMs. I think what it really comes down to is just poor planning. And I think we aren't just gonna wing things like that anymore unless we know that there is tons of information or good tourist infrastructure at a location. So I think really what it comes down to is just we have to plan better.
And I think also slowing down. I think a lot of this stems from the fact that we were traveling at a breakneck speed, like really too fast, and it showed here. I think we wouldn't have gotten in this mess if we had taken some time to breathe and just plan rather than just go, 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 which is really a characteristic of our first month of travel. That's just not sustainable for the year plus that we're planning on traveling for.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you on the next video.